encourage you to go to the games and support your area teams. We know you have a choice, and thank you for choosing us. This broadcast wouldn't be possible without the support of the sponsors you hear throughout the game. We encourage you to visit their businesses and use their service as often as possible. Be sure to tell them thanks for their support. Now, sit back and enjoy the game, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Norwell High School, the Castle, for the opening night of sectional play for the girls. It's a week earlier than what we're used to. They're trying to get the girls tournament out of the way before the boys tournament start. And tonight we bring you the second game between your Lady Knights and the Lady Eagles of Columbia City. This is Greg Van Meter along with Derek Decker and Noah Tobias this evening. The first game saw Bishop Luers, the second favorite in this sectional, defeat Belmont in a game that was perhaps a little bit closer than what most folks thought for the first three quarters anyway. Luers did pull away, though, at the end for a 65-43 victory. And we're just about set for action between your 20-2 Norwell Knights in the regular season and the 9-14 Eagles, both of the NE8 conference. A little bit different look to the sectional this year as Luers comes into the sectional and Eastbrook leads.
Yeah, that's changed from last year. Norwell beat Eastbrook en route to their sectional title a year ago, and what was a pretty solid Eastbrook team. Yes. I think they only lost 3 games, and 2 of them were to Norwell.
Yeah, they were. Of course, they play a little bit different schedule in the middle part of the state as opposed to what we do up north and what they play in Indianapolis and then on south. Of course, the south part of the state particularly tough in 3A this year, although it's going to be tough in the north too, with Heritage Christian awaiting most likely the winner of this particular sectional. Heritage Christian currently ranked, I believe, number 2 in 3A.
Yeah, and in the Sagarin, they're by far number 1. That AP poll just takes into account Princeton not having lost since 2 years ago. They won the state championship going undefeated last year, and they're still undefeated. Of course, a big part of that's Jackie Young, the new all-time career points leader in girls basketball in history of the state of Indiana basketball.
Actually, she passed Damon Bailey as well. So she is now the all-time point leader in basketball, period, in the state of Indiana. And they are fully expected to come out of the south half of the state. And right now, Heritage Christian is fully expected to come out of the north half of the state. Heritage Christian, in fact, is the biggest favorite of all the sectionals. They're at 85.9% compared to Marion, who's also in their sectional at 9.2%. Here at the Castle, Norwell is a 69.5% favorite with Luers at 20.5%. And, of course, they don't rank them below that second place on the Herald website. But and it's typical, especially in girls sectional play. You don't have too many of the 16 sectionals that are hotly contested. Only a few are within a couple of points across the state, and most of those, with the exception of the Lafayette sectional, are concentrated in the south.
Yeah, the other one that I look at is section number 22, which will also feed in the Columbia City Regional, featuring actually Dwenger and Concordia, the favorites, but Leo also probably going to be a contender in that sectional. That's going to be a pretty fun one. I don't have a score from that sectional yet. New Haven plays Concordia, which should be a pretty easy Concordia win at 7 o'clock. The only score I do have from Class 3A was at the Tippecanoe Valley sectional. The home team, Tippy Valley, took down Wawasee 62-34 and took care of business there to advance to the semifinal.
Tippy Valley with a very solid basketball team on the girls' side this year. They are a heavy favorite to win that sectional, with Northwood at 21%, but Northwood really down this year compared to what they've been over the last few.
Yeah, that's true. Norwell really took it to them when they came here to the Castle early in the season back in November for a Saturday afternoon matchup, and a game that Norwell won by 30+.
Right. And these two teams, of course, know each other very well. They played earlier this season at Columbia City in an NE8 conference game. Norwell came out with a win in that game by 9, 55-46. That was back on December 11th. But both of these teams significantly different than what they were almost 2 months ago. And that game was played on Columbia City's home floor, which is always a tough place to play. Norwell, the prediction tonight by Harrell is a 19-point Norwell win. 62-43 is what Harrell is predicting. I don't know that it'll be that quite as wide a margin, given the fact that it is sectional play, Noah, and the fact that Columbia City always seems to raise their game for postseason play.
Yeah, most definitely, Greg. Just looking at both of the teams warming up, Norwell, they seem kind of cold coming out of the gate when they first started warming up, but Columbia City, everybody is making a ton of shots. Really, I think defense is going to play a huge part into this game because we absolutely know that both teams can score the ball very well. They're both very aggressive teams that like to really drive and penetrate to the hole. But defensively, I think Norwell is definitely a favorite because of their defense. Columbia City, I think they're a little weaker and a little bit more inexperienced than Norwell. But tonight should be a really good game between the Eagles and the Knights.
Well, and you talked about scoring. Norwell averaging 63 points per game, Columbia City 48. So Columbia City did a good job in the previous meeting between these two squads of holding Norwell underneath their scoring averages. And I know, Derek, you've got a little bit more of a tale to tell there from the last game at Columbia City.
Yeah, Columbia City was led by Holly Martinez, who scored 13 points and had 3 rebounds in that matchup. As a team, the issue for Columbia City, the reason they lost that game was turnovers. They turned the ball over 27 times, whereas Norwell only turned it over 10 times. Now, both teams were shooting well from the field, especially for Columbia City. Norwell didn't shoot that well from the field. However, the outside shooting was very poor. Columbia City just 1 for 3. Norwell just 2 for 11 from outside. So it was an inside battle. It was a very physical battle, is what you expect to see in a conference game. And just thinking back to that game, Columbia City really likes to penetrate and get inside the lane.
Yeah, they really do. And we're liable to see a lot of physical play here tonight, as well as traditionally sectional postseason play, not refereed quite as tightly as what we see during the regular season.
Yeah, that's right. And last year, Noah touched on it a little bit. The defense played a huge part. I believe it was 45-44 or 44-43, something like that. And it was a game in the 40s. And in reality, a lot of those points were scored in the last couple minutes of that basketball game as the two teams kind of went back and forth. And, of course, a big shot by Lyra Eisnagel knocking down the 3 towards the end. And then Columbia City had a shot to win that game, but could not convert from about 8 feet.
Yep.
And
it was a great game.
It was a great game all around. Norwell held a lead for the vast majority of that game before finally giving up the lead with about 2 minutes left and then recovering for the victory.
Well, we do expect a dandy here tonight. We'll take a quick break here from a couple of sponsors and be back with the rest of the pregame festivities after these words.
Bluffton Tire, you know where they're located. Across the street from Bummy's, right at the entrance to the 4-H Park, has been serving Wells County for over 50 years. Bluffton Tire needs to be the first stop for brakes, struts, front-end alignment, and offers over 20 different brands of tires. Stop by and see Carrie Jennis today or visit online at BlufftonTire.com for online specials and coupons. Bluffton Tire is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Hi, this is Carrie Jennis at Bluffton Tire, and we'll keep you going.
We serve
and we care.
Med-Surg and ICU at Adams Memorial Hospital. Always here so you stay healthy in every way. We monitor
and we prevent.
Worthman Fitness at Adams Memorial Hospital. Our goal is for you to be healthy in every way.
Welcome back to the Castle, and we're just about set for the starting lineups. Norwell will be the visitors on our scoreboard, wearing their visiting dark blue uniforms tonight. We will join public address announcer Jamie Feldheiser for your starting lineups in just a second. The Columbia City Lady Eagles will be in their home whites tonight, although as you explained it to me, Derek, they're actually going to keep Norwell home on the scoreboard.
Correct.
All right. Now the starting lineups.
Starting for the Lady Knights, at a guard, 5'3" of senior, number 34, Casey Strunk. At another guard, 5'4" senior, number 12, Mackenzie Sawyer. At the other guard, 5'6" junior, number 20, Kaylee Fuller. At a forward, 5'9" senior, number 32, Quinn Shelton. And at the other forward, 5'9" senior, number 24, Stephanie Conrad. Our head coach for Norwell is Mr. Eric Thornton. And now to meet the home team on the scoreboard, the Columbia City Lady Eagles. Non-starters are number 12, Grace Potter. Number 14, Crystal Van Houten. Number 32, Morgan Bales. Number 34, Madison Henson. Number 40, Hunter Alice. Number 42, Natalia Johnson. And number 34, Noah Creed. Starting for the Lady Eagles at a guard, a 5'5" junior, number 10, Darian Barber. At another guard, a 5'8" junior, number 22, Elise Cormany. At another guard, a 5'7" junior, number 24, Holly Martinez. At the other guard, a 5'7" senior, number 30, Reagan Decker. And at forward, a 5'10" junior, number 20, Chelsea Pettigrew. The head coach for Columbia City is Ms. Amy Shear.
Once again, those starters for the visitors on the scoreboard, even though here at the Castle tonight, it's Sawyer, Roller, Conrad, Shelton, and Strunk for head coach Eric Thornton. In his 19th year at Norwell with a record of 289 wins versus 146 losses. Against the home team on the scoreboard, the Columbia City Eagles, it's Farber, Pettigrew, Cormany, Martinez, and Decker for head coach Amy Shear. She's in her 6th year at Columbia City with a record of 73 wins versus 68 losses. Just about set for the tip between Conrad and can't see that
I think
number.
that's Cormany.
And the tip is controlled by the Lady Eagles. Farber will bring it into the front court for Columbia City. She's being guarded by Casey Strunk. Norwell in a man-to-man to start. Nice quick move, blocked by Shelton. However, Martinez
blocked again
with the offensive rebound, swatted by Quinn. 2 consecutive blocks by Shelton on that play. Did a good job of getting off her feet quickly. Norwell defending this inbounds play man-to-man. As Norwell here at the Castle, they've got the end bleachers pulled out on the south end of the gym.
It's for the other teams that are here to watch.
Right. And Norwell with a good crowd this evening. They've got their half of the gym more than filled up. This time, Cormany's going to draw a foul. It will be on the shot, and it'll go against 24, Stephanie Conrad, her first. I'll tell you, that's the first time in about 4 games she's had a foul in the first quarter.
She's done a good job of not fouling early.
She really has, as Cormany not particularly close with that shot. Cormany did not do a lot of damage by my recollection in that first game, Derek.
No, she only had 4 points.
Her second one rattles out as well, but a good offensive rebound by Martinez, and she did do damage at Columbia City earlier this year. Somebody missed out their block-out assignment there, as Strunk goes right to the rim and draws a foul. Columbia City starts out in a 2-3 zone, and they were in that 2-3 zone for the entirety of the ball game in December. I like Norwell attacking the rim right off the bat.
Yeah, I do too. It's good to see Norwell being aggressive, not settling for threes. Like I said, it didn't really work last time as Strunk knocks down her first free throw.
I think you're going to see a little bit more. As I recall, Kaylee Roller did not start the game at Columbia City.
No, it was still Donick at that time.
Yeah. That makes it a little bit different team, just a different set of skills brought to the table there. Kaylee really gets after it defensively. Heady basketball player. From range, that's Farber, no good. The rebound batted around, and it'll remain Columbia City basketball. I think it was last touch there by Conrad, I think. Is that what you saw, Noah?
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw.
Farber into the lane. That's Cormany with the short jumper, no good. And Kaylee Roller there for the rebound. She'll bring it out of there quickly across the timeline before Columbia City's defense can get set up, but the pass was not able to be handled by Quinn Shelton. That was a tough pass.
Yeah. Despite the score, it's just 2-1 minute in here. The pace has been pretty darn quick.
It really has.
Both teams wanting to push the pace a little bit, especially Norwell.
Norwell a little bit more comfortable with a higher scoring game, though, I believe, as Martinez launches a three and buries it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Use the fake.
Struck quickly the other way. Now Roller, the right side of the lane, high off the backboard, no good. Martinez with the rebound. She'll bring it up herself, being guarded closely by Sawyer. She'll launch a shot from the free throw line, no good. And a solid rebound there by Stephanie Conrad. Into the front court. Roller. Nice kick out to Shelton. Shelton, though, really wasn't looking to shoot off of that pass. So the Knights will set up their offense. 6:10 left here in the first quarter. Norwell being patient, and Mackenzie Sawyer is going to be called for a travel. Looked like a travel to me from here.
It's tough because you see that lane in the split second that it was there, and you really want to go through it.
Yep.
But the basketball doesn't hit the floor fast enough.
Well, now, and it's 1-3-1.
Yeah, and this is kind of how the first meeting began. It's just going to be a tough game all the way through as they're going to count the basket. That was pretty clearly on the floor. But
wow.
The Cormany gets the bucket, and Sawyer picks up the foul. But, you know, this game's always going to be close. These two teams know each other well, and it's easy to figure out what kind of offense and defense they run because they see each other so often.
Well, Norwell's only gotten one shot up to this point. Other than just the one shot. Kaylee Roller's miss. Because Strunk got fouled on her play. There's another foul, that one against Reagan Decker, her first, team second. Conrad now to Sawyer. Oh, boy, that pass was just a little bit late to Shelton, but she finds Roller. Shelton with the assist. Nice extra pass there from Quinn Shelton.
And that is just great court vision by Quinn Shelton. She knew exactly where Kaylee Roller was, and she was really just expecting her to be there.
That's Martinez. Farber in the corner to Cormany. As good ball movement here by the Lady Eagles. And again, Norwell.
Oh, didn't block out.
There, Stephanie Conrad pulled down that one.
Yeah. Boy, lots of shots at it here early for, it was turnover. Conrad was fighting over the basketball as Columbia City greatly out-rebounding Norwell to this point.
Wow, another block shot by Quinn Shelton. That's her third block already of this basketball game. Roller launches another three, in and out, no good. And the rebound controlled on the ground by, that's Decker. Out front, Farber, and an extremely light foul called by that outside official who appears to be very whistle-happy to start this one. I think that's the third foul he's called of the 5 that it's been called.
Yeah.
Farber inbounding. That was the first one on Kaylee Roller. Cormany thought about it. As Farber gets to the rim, no good.
Another offensive rebound.
And Coach Thornton cannot be too happy about the offensive rebounds that Columbia City's getting right now. They've had a ton of chances And another quick foul. Well, so much for my theory about
you're
letting
right.
them play in postseason games.
This has been very tight. And in reality, the first game here tonight was also very tight. Of course, different set of officials, but it was also called pretty tight as Bella Krieg checks in for the first time for Columbia City, replacing
Pettigrew, I believe.
Cormany.
Cormany?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it was Pettigrew.
One of the people that Coach Thornton is especially angry at is Quinn Shelton, because the past couple of possessions she was not down at the rim trying to get the defensive rebound. She was up at half court waiting to get the ball.
Kaylee Roller.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, that's just a bad call.
And that's her second foul as well.
Kaylee Roller is going to be called for an offensive foul after being tripped on the play.
Wow.
As Norwell certainly not getting any breaks to start this basketball game. That's the fourth team foul on the Knights.
Yeah, and the other part of it is they're not getting any rebounds. Columbia City leads the rebounds right now 7-6, but 4 of them have been offensive.
Well, there's a turnover on the Eagles. Just under 4 minutes left in this first quarter. The Knights just have not had many shots to this point. They've either turned the ball over a couple of times. Nice crossover
move
by Strunk, but couldn't get the shot to go. Boy, you got to knock those down, Derek.
Yeah, that's right. You got to, when you get to the rim and get a good look, you got to knock it down.
Martinez inside, and losing the ball was Krieg. Norwell quickly the other way. Norwell really trying to push the pace. As on the baseline, Conrad tries to get to the rim and loses the handle. No foul call there again. Out of bounds. That'll be, oh my goodness. Who touched that ball for Norwell?
Yeah, I think they're going to say it was Sawyer on the last touch.
Okay. Well, he might have.
Well, anyway, it was a nice job to stop transition as Holly Martinez knocks down the 3 for her 8th point out of Columbia City's 10.
Well, she did very well against the Knights the first time this season. Columbia City now with a 6-point lead. Well, maybe
nice.
A good backdoor cut as Courtney Beer, who entered.
On the floor. Yep.
Yeah, she didn't get the shot up.
Yep.
Courtney entered for Kaylee Roller when Kaylee picked up her second foul. 2:55 left here in the first quarter. Strunk inbounds it quickly. And again, Norwell misses a point-blank shot. But Mackenzie Sawyer will go to the line. The foul called on Darian Farber. Farber, a 5'5" junior. As Sawyer will go to the line to try to cut into this Columbia City lead. Well, Norwell struggling in a couple of phases of the game right now. They've missed a couple of shots right at the rim, but they've also already missed a couple of free throws and uncharacteristically turning it over a little bit as well. The biggest factor, though, against them is the fouls, as Columbia City has 5 team fouls, but to Norwell's 4, but Columbia City's gone to the line. Good move there by Martinez again. Courtney Beer coming out of there with it. She's being guarded by Cormany. Beer into the lane on the drive, no good.
Boy, you don't see her do that too often.
Nope. As Casey Strunk takes it away from Reagan Decker, it'll remain Columbia City's basketball.
Another sub. That's going to be Pettigrew checking back in. This time checking out is Elise Cormany.
We haven't heard much from Pettigrew so far.
Fouls very evenly spread out with the exception of Kaylee Roller for Norwell having 2. Four players on the floor right now have a foul for Columbia City.
That was Decker from the corner, no good, and Mackenzie Sawyer will track down the tip out from Conrad. It appears now as though Columbia City might be going to a man-to-man defense. Nope, that's still a 2-3 zone, I believe. Good cross-court pass to Beer, no good. Excuse me, yeah, that was Beer. Martinez quickly the other way. As she dribbles into the lane, a foul's going to be called on the floor. I think that's going to be on Courtney Beer.
No, it's on Sawyer. It's her second.
I think 15 foul on the Knights.
Yeah,
52 left here in the first.
That's big. Is now 2 players in foul trouble for Norwell here in the first quarter.
Kaylee Roller looking to check
that's
back
moving
in.
Screen. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul on Bella Krieg.
Yeah, that was an easy call.
Just did not square up to the player. Roller will check in for Sawyer now. Roller does have 2 fouls. Also, Cormany back in for Columbia City. Martinez takes a seat. Oh, well, got to be happy to see that.
Yeah, she's got 8 points out of 10 for Columbia City.
On the strength of a couple threes. Roller leaves it for Strunk. Columbia City really packing in their 2-3 zone. Strunk with the miss from long range. Farber now 3 the other way for Columbia City. No good, as Farber able to corral the rebound and get it up and in. Columbia, that's got to be a reach on Reagan Decker, and it is.
It's her second.
16 fouls already
7
on Columbia City.
That's actually going to put Norwell in the bonuses.
Right.
Boy, this game being called like it's the beginning of the season.
1:10 left in the first quarter. Norwell already in the bonus.
Morgan Bales checks in for Columbia City in place of Reagan Decker.
Bales, another junior. A lot of juniors on this Columbia City team. They've only got 2 seniors and only really one that plays, Reagan Decker.
That was not close. And Norwell has to do something here because they can't dig themselves a hole. They're just not shooting well, and when they're not shooting well, they're not turning it over either.
Good defense there by Shelton as Beer heads the other way with 56 seconds on the clock. Kaylee Roller, long 3, no good. That was short. Norwell not shooting particularly well here in the first quarter.
No, just 1 field goal.
They've hit a couple of free throws, but they've also had the opportunity for 4 other free throws.
She got caught. I don't know, it hit her eye or something because Strunk was caught off guard.
She got hit in the head.
Yeah, she was looking around as she did get knocked on the noggin.
There's Conrad for 3 and buries it.
That's a big shot for
Boy,
Norwell.
It sure is. 18 seconds on the clock. Conrad, the senior leader. She's done that numerous times the last few basketball games. As Norwell chasing all over the floor right now. Up in the air, Cormany, and hits the short jumper. That'll end the first quarter. Columbia City doubling up Norwell 16-8. We'll take a break and be right back after these words from New Holland Tri-County.
It's not always about speed. It's not always about sponsors. It's not always about glamour. It's about getting the job done right. No matter what you have to push, pull, or move, New Holland and your local dealers are ready to help you finish like a champion. New Holland.
Welcome back to the Castle. Norwell trailing Columbia City 16-8 here as we head into the second quarter. And I'll tell you what, I'd really like to see Norwell extend that defense to about three-quarter court and just really put pressure on the Columbia City guards. Now, the thing you got to watch is the foul situation. Norwell already with 5 team fouls. Columbia City with 7.
Wow, the shot attempt ratio is unbelievable at this point. Columbia City 7 of 22 in the first quarter. Norwell 2 of 9. And if it hadn't been for Conrad's three-pointer with under 15 seconds left in the quarter, boy, 1 for 9 is not a good percentage to shoot in the first quarter as the starters back out there for Norwell.
Well, they hit 2 field goals, didn't they, with Conrad's?
Yes.
Conrad shot. Kaylee Roller into the lane, no foul called. However, Stephanie Conrad with a putback. Kind of a wild shot there by Roller. And Norwell has extended their defense. Quinn Shelton all the way out there to about three-quarters court. Now Farber looking for help. throws it away. That's what you like to see, is that pressure on the ball.
Yeah, Norwell uncharacteristically turned it over 5 times in that first quarter. Columbia City just turned it over for the 4th time.
Yeah, and Noah mentioned it there at the break. I thought Norwell looked a little tight coming out of the chute.
Oh, nice.
Drunk with it. Oh, boy, misses another layup. And coming out of there with it was Bella Krieg. That's the 3rd point-blank shot the Knights have missed at the rim. There's Martinez again. This one's no good. And Conrad just being moved out of there by Krieg. Another foul called on Norwell. It'll go on Casey Strunk, her first. As Coach Thornton getting an explanation from Mr. Whistle Happy over there. I mean, he's been blowing his whistle every 3rd trip down the floor.
Yeah, still the offensive rebound margin is pretty ridiculous at this point. It's 6-1.
Well, on that particular play, Krieg should have been called for a foul, as she just picked up Stephanie Conrad and moved her. Inside, a good move by Pettigrew. Lead back up to 8 for Columbia City. 6:35 left here in the second.
And on that shot, Stephanie Conrad was not on ball whatsoever. I mean, she just basically let her have that shot, and that's unacceptable, really.
Boy, great pass there by Casey. I don't know what happened on that shot from Conrad. She missed a layup by several feet.
Yeah, that was not close.
Up top, Norwell now in a very aggressive man-to-man. Martinez completely out of control, called for the charge. That's a good call, as Martinez just tried to barrel through about 3 Knights. That'll be the first foul on her, Derek. Second foul,
and that's big.
Oh, they called it on Krieg.
Oh. Yeah, because she was moving so much down low.
Okay.
Another illegal block called on Krieg. Player control foul, so no free throws for the Knights.
It's her second foul as well.
She'll take a seat. Columbia City staying. Oh, we have another sub out there for Columbia City.
It's Natalia Johnson checked in for Krieg.
There's
Conrad again.
No good again. Norwell certainly a lid on that north basket right now for the Knights. In the corner, that's Farber.
Long 2.
And it's a 2-pointer for, is that Farber?
Yep, and it's Columbia City still got Norwell doubled up. That's an errant shot, and then a foul not called.
5:33 left here in the second quarter. As Norwell now still playing a man-to-man. The backdoor pass thrown away. I like the way Norwell looks in their man-to-man.
Yeah, I do too.
I'll tell you what I'd really like to see is if the officials are going to be so ticky-tacky with their whistles, call something underneath.
Yeah, and you know, that's something that I've seen a lot, and not only at the high school level, but they let them really bump and run underneath, and they call a lot out top. A lot of the hands, can't use the hands out top, but you can use them down low.
Yep. And right now, Columbia City winning the strength battle as Shelton launches a 3. No good. Boy.
Norwell just not knocking anything down. They're 3 of 17 from the field.
Wow. Well, that shouldn't continue, as Norwell has proven to be a much better shooting team than that over the course of the season. Under 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Farber being guarded tightly by Beer up top. And Farber now looks left to Martinez. Martinez has been pretty quiet here so far in the second quarter. Underneath, the shot blocked again, this time by Conrad. That was Johnson with the shot. Up ahead to Sawyer. Sawyer able to convert. Ends a long dry spell for the Knights.
And that's a great job by Stephanie Conrad. That defensive play that she had, she saw that they did an overhead pass to Columbia City's center down low, and she saw that. She took one step over to her right, and she got that block shot.
Amy Shearer is going to burn a timeout. Also, a substitution for Columbia City as Cormany back into the game for Martinez. We'll take a quick break and be right back after these words from our sponsors.
This is your moment. Explore the University of St. Francis. Known for our quality academic options and dedicated professors who practice in their fields, you will discover the perfect program to fit your interests and goals. Hands-on experience with internships, clinicals, and co-ops makes a USF education a great value and investment into your future. Apply now at sf.edu. We are seeking applicants for $15 million in scholarships this year. This is your moment. Believe.
Columbia City with the basketball. As we mentioned, Cormany replacing Martinez. Also into the game, Morgan Bales back in there for the Lady Eagles, wearing number 32. Farber looking for help, and a foul's going to be called, I believe, on Courtney Beer.
Yeah, that'll put Columbia City in the bonus here as Beer picks up her first foul.
Going to the line will be Chelsea Pettigrew. I don't believe she's scored yet this evening, has she, Derek?
4 points.
Oh, a little off on that one. Might have been thinking of Reagan Decker. She's also wearing a 0 on her back.
Both teams shooting poorly from the line.
Quick pass up ahead to Sawyer. Thought about the 3. Instead, she goes to the rim. No call on the play. And trying to chase it down was Conrad. However, Pettigrew came up with it. Columbia City getting every rebound right now.
Yeah, they are. Out-rebounding the Knights 21-13. And they're not oversized.
Cormany.
3 seconds.
Wow, when was the last time you saw that called?
It's been a long time.
And honestly, it's been needed to call a lot of this season for the girls and the boys.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually it's just ignored.
Yeah, it's interesting how it's called once a game and then not again when it's the same. Yeah.
Good kick out from Strunk to Beer. Well off as Shelton looking for the foul. No call. Pettigrew took it away from her. As Farber will set things up. That's Cormany in the corner. Farber being guarded up top by Strunk. Into the lane. And traveling called on Darian Farber.
It's Columbia City's 6th turnover of the evening.
Norwell has how many?
Norwell still with 5. Hasn't turned it over here in the second quarter.
3:16 left on the clock. Strunk handling it for the Knights. Conrad again way up top. She'll launch another long 3 and bury another one.
Wow, and you know, those 2 shots that she's hit from outside includes her, adds to her 8-point total, but it's kept Norwell in this basketball game.
It sure has, as Norwell shooting a awful percentage.
Yep, got her across the arm.
Morgan Bales on the drive and the score.
I think the Beer's going to be called for the foul.
Yep, she is. Kaylee Roller will check back in for the Knights. She replaces Beer. And for Columbia City, Martinez replaces Johnson. Johnson listed at 6'1", but does not get much playing time.
No, she's just a little bit uncoordinated yet in there.
As Bales, the junior, able to convert the 3-point play. Lead back to 8 for Columbia City.
2:53 left here in the quarter and in the half. And the Knights really need to close the gap here before halftime.
Columbia City extending their defense a little bit. Sawyer stripped, gets it back, and it'll remain Norwell's basketball. They say it's off the foot of Cormany. Well, Norwell's got to get a little bit stronger with the basketball, as well as their positioning. That pass almost thrown away, as Sawyer able to corral it up top.
This
in traffic.
Norwell has not been used to playing a lot of physical basketball, and they struggled up at Lures where it was very physical and only won that game by 3 points.
Strunk to kick out to Shelton, no good. And the rebound controlled by Pettigrew. Martinez the other way. That's Bales in the corner. Farber in this corner now. As Norwell, they're man-to-man.
What a low-scoring affair here.
Very much so. It's certainly been... Oh, that's got to be over the back, and it's called on Morgan Bales. Norwell will be shooting free throws.
Bales picks up her first foul. Strunk, I believe, will be shooting the free throws.
9th on the team, is that correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Norwell with 18 fouls to this point. 2:01 on the clock.
Big free throws here.
Yeah, Norwell needs to start hitting their free throws. They've already missed the opportunity for at least 4 that I can think of.
2 for 5.
But
and another. Oh, that one dropped. Nice friendly home bounce.
Yep, good touch by Casey Strunk.
Yeah, the one was off the front end.
As she'll try to get the Knights to within 6 and can't do it, but a good offensive rebound by Conrad. Another point-blank miss.
Boy, that was a break.
They called traveling on the baseline. Martinez saying she was pushed, and I think she might have been.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Norwell's got to hit shots at the rim. That's at least their 5th point-blank shot that they've missed, which would give them a lead if they had made those shots. Conrad working inside. Nice find.
Pass. Oh, another close miss. Can't miss them all like that, or you're not going to win this basketball game.
Columbia City leads by 7. Cormany. Now Pettigrew to Farber. Farber working on Casey Strunk. Bales. Bales has had a good first half here for the Eagles. We didn't see her hardly at all. Nice play by Conrad as she opened up to the pass. She takes it to the rim and gets fouled. Morgan Bales will be called on foul. Boy.
Yeah, and if they can't convert there, they're going to have to figure out how to convert at the line, because right now they're shooting really poorly around the rim, as they've had tons of point-blank looks.
6 of them by my count.
Yeah, the shot chart shows I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 close misses.
Wow. All inside
of 8 feet.
Yep. Conrad able to knock down a couple free throws. Columbia City's lead down to 5.
Yeah, that's big, as Norwell needs to get a stop here and perhaps score another basket before the half.
Well, they've got time, 1:15 on the clock, although they may have to force a turnover here in order to get the ball back. It's got to be 3 seconds on Chelsea Pettigrew. No call as...
Oh, my goodness.
Is that an elbow?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to get chippy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
nobody's shocked.
Maybe that's why the officials are calling it so closely.
And yeah, they might. Oh, that was a carry.
Martinez carries the basketball. No call.
They might want to get this game under control, and that's probably a pretty good idea to keep it under control.
42 seconds now. Martinez into the lane. The jumper, no good.
Another offensive rebound.
Pettigrew gets it back up and in.
Yep.
Not a lot you can do about that particular rebound.
And a lot of them have been really long rebounds.
They have.
They're just not. There's a nice take and another miss around the rim. That's a jump ball. It's still going to go to Columbia City as Strunk misses again. Now the Knights are just going to have to figure out how to make a basket, because
you got it.
They're getting the looks.
If you can't make layups, you're not going to win a basketball game.
Nor should you.
Madison, Dunnick, and Lindy Dial check in for the Knights. Sawyer and Roller take a seat.
Columbia City likely going to look for the last shot here of the half with just under 20 ticks.
Farber into the front court, throws it away. Strunk ahead of the pack, gives it up to Shelton. Well, I tell you what, she almost gave that up too late. 4 seconds. In the corner, Cormany, high arcing shot, no good. That'll end the first half. The Knights cut into the Columbia City lead. They trail by 5 here at the Castle in sectional game 2. We'll take a break and be back after these words from our sponsors.
Live life to the fullest at Adams Woodcrest Villas and Apartments. Make new friends and take part in educational, inspirational, and just plain fun activities. Enjoy the best in maintenance-free independent living. Enjoy life at Adams Woodcrest Villas and Apartments in Decatur.
At First Bank of Bern, you can depend on us for checking accounts that fit your needs. We have free checking with no strings attached. Absolutely free checking with a free Visa debit card, free online banking, even mobile banking. Stop by or call any First Bank of Bern office. We'll help you find a checking account that is perfect for you. First Bank of Bern. Employee-owned and conveniently located. Visit us online at firstbankofbern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Troxel Equipment offers a full line of John Deere equipment. Troxel Equipment features a large inventory of all makes and models of pre-owned equipment that has been well maintained and ready for service. Most of Troxel's pre-owned equipment was traded in from owner-operators. Be sure to ask about our certified pre-owned units. Troxel Equipment has the ability to customize your financing, lease, or installment contracts to meet your cash flow needs. Visit any of our 3 locations in Bluffton, Huntington, or Wabash, or check out our website for our inventory of new and pre-owned equipment. Troxel Equipment, the dealership you can trust.
Pizza Hut is changing the way you think about pizza with their Flavor of Now menu. With over 2 billion combinations of new ingredients, crusts, and sauces, you can customize your pizza and take it where pizza has never gone before. But don't stress, all the old-time favorites are still available. At Pizza Hut, it's everything you've always loved about pizza and more. Order online now at pizzahut.com or download our mobile app. Pizza Hut Flavor of Now menu at your local Pizza Hut in Bluffton.
The Bowling Center in Bluffton has Friday Night Trio League for ages 4 through 19 with sign-ups going on now. This 10-week league is at 7 p.m. on Fridays for $8.25 per week for 3 games and shoes. Also on Friday, it's Friday Fun from noon to 6 p.m. Bowl for just $1 and shoe rental is only 50 cents. The Bowling Center, 1231 South Scott Street in Bluffton. Visit bowlbluffton.com.
Welcome back to the Castle and halftime here at Norwell. Second game of the sectional. The first game won by Bishop Luers over Belmont 65-43, along with Derek Decker and Noah Tobias. This is Greg Van Meter bringing you the action, and I'll tell you, it's a real easy story in this first half for the Knights, Noah. You got to hit shots.
Yeah, really, the Knights have missed so many point-blank shots to this point. I mean, they're easy layups. They're basically gimmies. But then also, they're not shooting free throws very well. Casey Strunk missed a couple front ends of the 1-and-1. And free throws, they are saying, here's a free point. I'll let you have it. But you got to make the shot, and it's tough for Norwell. But then also in the first quarter, Norwell wasn't being that aggressive on the defensive side. Like I said earlier, I think they looked a little sluggish. That first possession that Columbia City had in the second quarter, though, Norwell really looked fired up. But then as it went on throughout the second quarter, we started to get back to our sluggish ways once again. So hopefully here in the second half, they'll come out of the locker room fired up and they'll know exactly what to do. And Coach Thornton will just have some really good points for them in the locker room.
Well, they need something, Derek, as they got to figure out how to put the biscuit in the basket.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. That's what it comes down to here in the first half. Turnovers not an issue. They didn't even turn the ball over in the second quarter. They had 5 in the first quarter. But we'll go ahead and go a little more in-depth in the stats here.
Now, and on the positive side, Norwell did cut into a Columbia City lead. They were at 8 at the end of the first quarter. It's 5 right now. Less than a 2-possession game.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is they failed to get a stop on the big possession there with under a minute left after scoring. Yeah, and that's all right. They got to learn from that. Coach Thornton, obviously a specialist at halftime and what they need to do better in the second half, and usually the third quarter pretty telling. And you talk about it. We talk about it a ton, how important the first 2 minutes of the third quarter are and how well both teams can shoot.
Yep, that's right.
We'll start with the visitors on the scoreboard, the Norwell Lady Knights. They're 6 of 25 from the field for 24%, 3 of 10 from outside for 30%, and 3 of 15 inside for 20%. 5 of 9 from the free throw line for 56%. They have 2 assists on 6 field goals, 14 total rebounds, 12 of them defensive, 2 offensive, 4 team blocks. They fouled 8 times in that first half and have 5 team turnovers. Individually, Mackenzie Sawyer has 3 points and a rebound. Kaylee Roller has 3 points and a rebound. Courtney Beer has a rebound. Stephanie Conrad had 10 points and 7 rebounds. Quinn Shelton had 2 points, an assist, and 2 rebounds. And Casey Strunk had 2 points, an assist, and 2 rebounds. for Columbia City. As a team, they shot 11 for 32 from the field for 34%, 2 of 6 from outside for 33%, and 9 of 26 inside for 35%. At the free throw line, they were 1 of 5 for 20%. They had 27 team rebounds, 19 defensive, 8 offensive. They fouled 10 times in that first half and had 9 team turnovers. Individually, Darian Farber had 4 points. Chelsea Pettigrew had 6 points and 7 rebounds. Elise Cormany had 4 points and 4 rebounds. Holly Martinez had 8 points and 5 rebounds. Reagan Decker had 3 rebounds. Morgan Bales had 3 points and 3 rebounds. And Natalia Johnson had 1 rebound. Bella Creek had 4 rebounds in there for Columbia City. The score at halftime is Columbia City 25, Norwell 20.
Derek, how many team rebounds did you say Norwell had to this point?
I've got Norwell for 14 and Columbia City with 27.
Right. So, and a lot of those, as you mentioned, throughout the course of the first half, a lot of those offensive rebounds for Columbia City. And I'll tell you what, just watching the play off the ball underneath, Columbia City simply moving Norwell's players underneath. Should they be fouled? Yeah, they should. But if they're not going to call them, you got to get low and hold your position.
Yeah, at this point, you really got to get tough and you got to adjust because that foul was not called in the first half. Whether it's a foul or not is debatable, but you know it's not going to be called, so you have to get low, definitely block out. In the first half, they had poor position on most rebounds. Now, granted, a lot of them were long rebounds off of longer shots, and they were kind of hard off the back of the rim, and that's just poor luck. But yet, you can make your own luck if you get underneath and get good position.
And Noah, you play against these girls on a regular basis as they practice against boys, and I'd like to get your perspective on the whole rebounding thing. Is right now, Norwell just seems to be being pushed around by a much more aggressive Columbia City team.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the girls, when us guys are playing with them, they're always so aggressive with boxing us out. And Coach Thornton, that is one of the things that every single time we play against them, he wants to see. Not really to single Quinn Shelton out, but I'm going to right now. She was down the court a couple of times when she really should have followed her shot and tried to get to that rebound because she hasn't gotten that many points, but she shot up a couple really nice shots. But not only her rebound she needs to get, but she needs to get other people's, and she needs to really just focus on that because that's, like Derek said, really the main part while we're getting beat really bad tonight.
Yeah, and that's on those offensive boards. Norwell needs to come out here with a quick second half. We'll bring it to you after these words from our sponsors.
It's not always about speed. It's not always about sponsors. It's not always about glamour. It's about getting the job done right. No matter what you have to push, pull, or move, New Holland and your local dealers are ready to help you finish like a champion. New Holland.
Well, welcome back to the Castle. We're just about set for the second half to begin. Neither team took any warm-up shots. They were both late coming out of the locker rooms. Coach Shear for Columbia City has used the only timeout so far in this basketball game, so Coach Thornton still has his full complement of timeouts.
Neither team really got on. That was not a half of runs. Neither team got on a run at all as it was back and forth. It seemed when one team scored, the other answered. The starters back on the floor, I believe, for both teams.
Yeah, I think you're right, Derek. Sawyer, Roller, Strunk, Conrad, and Shelton for the Knights. Cormany, Decker, Farber, Martinez, and Pettigrew for the Eagles. Norwell with the basketball to start this second half. And they've, to this point, been able to do pretty much whatever they wanted offensively. They just can't hit those shots.
Boy, that kind of that summed up the first half.
It really did, and that's the way the second half starts for the Knights. Norwell in a man-to-man on the backdoor cut. Cormany with the jumper, way strong. And again, Norwell fighting over the rebound. Casey Strunk and Stephanie Conrad just can't seem to communicate, as that's the second time a ball lost between the two of them.
One time they both grabbed it and traveled.
This time they both knocked it out of bounds, out of each other's hands. Martinez on the baseline. Good defense by Sawyer, but Martinez able to knock it down.
That was good defense from Sawyer. Couldn't ask for a whole bunch more.
Strunk quickly the other way. Good kick out to Shelton. Thought about the three. She'll cross the lane to Sawyer for three, and Sawyer, that's a big shot for the Knights. Columbia City's lead down to 4. Here comes the pressure from Norwell. Shelton in the backcourt. Dogging Martinez. Almost turning it over. It was Pettigrew. Decker out top Farber now. He works the right side. Cross court to Martinez. Martinez had a very good first half on the run. Can't get that to go.
That was out of bounds. Yep, he got it the second time.
Yeah. As Pettigrew clearly over the back on that play. No call. Now they may let him play here in the second half.
Yeah, no fouls called here in the first minute and change.
Total of about, they were close to 20 fouls
18.
called in that first half.
Yep.
There you go.
19.
19. Shelton working it around the defense. Now Roller into the lane. Scoops it up and gets fouled. We'll see who that foul's called on. It'll be on Pettigrew, I believe.
Yep.
That's her second. Nobody in real foul trouble to this point. Nobody with more than 2 fouls for either squad.
Roller trying to add to her 3-point total. The team shot 5 of 9 in the first half from the line.
6:28 on the clock. Wow. And again, Norwell.
Frustrations continue.
Missing free throws, missing layups, missing short jumpers. Bella Krieg will re-enter for Columbia City, replacing Pettigrew.
Well, at the beginning of the season, Norwell Lady Knights, they really weren't that sharp on free throws, so this is kind of what we were seeing at the beginning of the season. But then as the season went on, of course, they got better.
Yeah.
Kaylee Roller hits her second free throw.
This is not the time to see regression at the free throw line, especially.
That's for sure. Norwell as close as they've been in some time, and dribbling it out of bounds was Darian
Nice
Farber.
Defense from Casey Strunk.
Yep, she really did do a good job of keeping her hands straight up, keeping her body in front of Farber. And see, I'll tell you, that's what I'd like. I'd just like to see him go to a straight, full-court man-to-man right now and just guard the ever-loving stuff out of the basketball.
Well, as poorly as the Knights have played, they can tie it up on this possession.
Just over 6 minutes left in this third quarter. Sawyer, being guarded by Farber, will reset for the Knights. Now Shelton working on Martinez. Roller thought about the three. Now Sawyer into the lane, and a tripping foul is going to be called.
It's going to go on Farber.
Oh, and that's going to be a shooting foul.
Yeah.
That is a break for the Knights as Farber picks up her second.
Yep.
2 team fouls on the Eagles here in the second half.
Third player with 2 fouls for Columbia City on the floor.
Sawyer looked good on that free throw. She can draw the Knights to within 1 with this one.
Boy, it's kind of hard to believe as Columbia City's really dominated this basketball game.
Well,
it's
only from the standpoint of rebounds.
Well,
as Norwell, I mean, when you give up that many missed layups, you're not dominating a basketball game. I mean, they 11 shots missed inside. Well, and then Shelton missed one in the first possession for 12. I'm going to keep track of that.
There's almost a steal.
Shelton working hard on the top of that zone. No good from Decker. And up ahead to Shelton. Shelton tried to get it to Conrad. It'll remain Norwell's ball.
You can almost feel the momentum start to swing a little bit in the favor of Norwell as they can take the lead with a basket on this possession. And Columbia City's missed their last couple shots.
Good call there.
And the reason why Decker missed that 3-point shot was because she didn't use any legs in that 3 whatsoever.
Casey Strunk just threw the ball to Bella Krieg as that is going to be off of the Eagles. It'll be Norwell's ball, and Columbia City misses a layup.
As potential injury here
Cormany down at the corner of the lane, fighting for that rebound. She missed the layup, I believe. Did she not?
No, it was Decker that missed the layup.
Okay. Cormany was fighting for the offensive rebound.
Yeah, she came over the back. As Norwell takes a timeout here.
First timeout Coach Thornton has used. We'll take it along with him. The Knights trail by 1 with 5:14 left here in the third quarter. We'll be right back.
It took Subway restaurants to do flatbread sandwich great, fresh roasted until its flavor reaches the towering peaks of Mount Delicious. You may have had other flatbread, but once you sink your teeth into this appetite-busting mountain of flavor, you'll know this is the real deal. Get any of your Subway favorites on our full-flavor flatbreads and let your taste buds sink into the delicious depths of goodness. Subway of Bluffton, eat fresh with 2 locations to serve you in North Main and inside Walmart.
5:14 left. Norwell trailing by a point. This is a big possession for the Knights, as they can definitely get a momentum swing here with a basket in the lead. Courtney Beer on the floor for Norwell.
Second half has been called a little looser on both ends of the floor as far as fouls are concerned.
Beer replacing Shelton in Norwell's lineup. Courtney has yet to score. Strong, nice pass underneath to Conrad. And Norwell takes their first lead of this game. That'll get the crowd into it. Here comes some pressure from the Knights with Strunk up top. Martinez almost stolen away by Roller. Now Sawyer up ahead to Strunk. Casey lays it in. That's what Coach Thornton
timeout,
wants to
Columbia
see.
City.
Timeout. And it's a 30 for the Eagles. Norwell up by 3. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
At Warren Pharmacy, we offer local delivery, accept hundreds of prescription insurance plans, offer special ordering for hard-to-find items, have home health care and convalescent supplies, stock Nature's Bounty, Windmill, and basic vitamins, and Nature's Sunshine nutritional products, along with many other services provided. Warren Pharmacy, 222 North Wayne Street in Warren. You can reach them toll-free at 800-895-7035. Warren Pharmacy, we're big enough to meet your needs, yet small enough to know your name.
Off the timeout, Quinn Shelton back in there for the Knights, replacing Beer.
Yeah, and Noah just said it. Norwell fans have been waiting for that little stretch for the entire basketball game, as they finally got a turnover and a couple scores and now lead it by 3.
Well, they've outscored
10-2.
Yep, Columbia City here to start the second half by that 10-2 margin.
Norwell still extending that defense.
And I think they got to keep that up for the rest of the game or until it's safely put away. As Farber looking for help. Back to her in the corner. Farber will launch a long 3 and hit it.
No, it's a long 2.
Another long 2 for her. That's the second one she's hit with her foot on the line. That's a big shot for Columbia City. Strunk really not looking to take the 3. She's had opportunities out there. Another miss for Shelton.
Martinez pulls down the rebound. She's got 7 of them.
Shelton's had that shot all night long across the lane, just not able to knock it down. As Farber being dogged by Casey Strunk. Now Martinez.
Martinez has been pretty much a non-factor after that first quarter.
Into the lane. That was Bales, who's in the game for Columbia City. Casey Strunk's going to be called for the foul. She reached in on Bella Krieg. That'll be Casey's 3rd, I believe.
Nope, just her 2nd.
Just her 2nd, okay. First team foul in the Knights here in the second half.
Sawyer, Roller, and Strunk all with 2 fouls.
All right. Trying to inbound, and it's thrown away by Decker. Good job by Mackenzie Sawyer getting out of the trap. Bella Krieg is going to foul Casey Strunk, and it'll be Norwell's ball on the side.
It's actually Martinez picking
up
the foul.
Jared, good call.
Yeah, that was really a good call. I mean, she was just riding Casey Strunk the entire way down the floor. She wasn't in front of her at all, so that was a great call by the official.
Second foul on Martinez as Elise Cormany, no worse for the wear, back in there, replaces Decker.
Yeah, and you gotta figure out where the line is on how much you could, how physical you can play against a ball handler.
Strunk up top. Columbia City back to their 2-3 zone. Roller drives, scoops it up, and gets it to go.
And that's really been Kaylee Roller's shot all year as well.
Yeah, it has been.
Just that little scoop shot.
Yep.
Martinez into the front court. Looking for help. Throws it away. Conrad's coming out of there with it. Up ahead to Shelton. Shelton lays it up and in. Norwell really trying to push the pace here, which I think is the right thing to do. Athletically, Columbia City just can't keep up with Norwell from that standpoint.
This is big danger time for Columbia City, too. This thing can get away from them in a hurry, especially at this pace.
Under 3 minutes to go, and that's going to be a foul on Mackenzie Sawyer.
It's her third.
Trying for the steal. She ran into Martinez.
Yeah, she was going for the ball, but too much body contact. It's her third, and she's going to stay out there.
If I'm Coach Thornton, I'm not making any personnel changes right now. A little momentum in Norwell's favor. There's almost another steal by Conrad. Cormany with the kick out to, is that Farber?
That's another long two.
And Farber able to corral the rebound. It was a 20-foot board there.
Yeah.
The ball actually landed beyond the free throw line. Martinez working the baseline. Throws it away. Shelton quickly the other way. Nice pass off to Sawyer. Assist Shelton. Boy, good fast break there by the Knights. Martinez now into the front court. Columbia City trailing by 7. Boy, what a turnaround here for the Knights in the second half. They're making layups, for heaven's sake.
Yeah, it's 16-4 here in the third quarter.
Farber finds Cormany up top. Krieg camped out in the lane. Had a good block out, and it's on the line as Bales could not save it. I thought for a second there, Shear might have called a timeout. Courtney Beer checks in for the Knights.
Reagan Decker back in for Columbia City.
As Sawyer takes a seat for Norwell.
Martinez for Columbia City.
Just under 2 minutes left here in the third. And it has been a good third quarter for the Knights. There's Conrad with a long three. Doesn't hit anything. It'll be Columbia City's basketball.
Yeah, somebody was looking for a tip there. It didn't look like it was.
I didn't think so either. Might hit her arm, but didn't hit the basketball.
Right.
Farber will bring it up for the Eagles into the teeth of that defense. Now Cormany. Farber trying to get, there's the pass she wanted. Missed by Bales, but Pettigrew pulled down the rebound. Another shot inside, no good.
Another offensive rebound.
Bales doing a good job on the boards for the Eagles. Excuse me, that's Cormany on that side. And now Columbia City resets with 1:18 on the clock. Decker being tied up, able to get rid of it. Again underneath Cormany. Cormany missed the shot, and that's going to be a foul on Norwell.
I think that was going to be a block-out foul.
It is on Casey Strunk. That's her third. Well, Casey's fighting hard for position underneath there, and that time they just happened to call it. Good pass underneath. Columbia City misses another bunny.
Another offensive rebound.
Boy, they are just killing Norwell on the boards.
Especially on the offensive boards. It's now 13-2 offensive and 34-15 for the game.
Yeah, that really is the only thing keeping Columbia City in it at this point. That and Norwell's missed layups.
Yeah, it's resulting in a ton more shot attempts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see at the end of this one, however it goes. And 3
seconds called again.
Well, she's been camped in there all night. I don't know that she's actually gotten out of the lane. As another 3-second call on Bella Krieg. Madison Dunnick checks in for the Knights as Casey Strunk takes a seat. 35, wow. And Columbia City burns a full timeout. I don't know about that one. We'll take a break. It's a full timeout. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let me, Kevin Beatty in Bluffton, help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money too, because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and actually help you get ahead. Call me, Kevin Beatty in Bluffton, today and get to a better state with State Farm. 824-1928.
We serve
and we care.
Med-Surg and ICU at Adams Memorial Hospital. Always here so you stay healthy in every way. We monitor
and we prevent.
Worthman Fitness at Adams Memorial Hospital. Our goal is for you to be healthy in every way.
Back here at the Castle, 35.2 left in the third quarter. And Derek, I know you and I both questioning the wisdom of burning the timeout there.
With just 35 seconds left in the third quarter in a game that you may need them down the stretch.
And you don't have the basketball. You know,
yeah, right.
If you've got the basketball and want to try to set up a play to score.
Right, and you can cut it within 5 or maybe even 4 points, but not with the basketball.
Now, Coach Shear down to 2 left. Shelton for 3, and it's good. That's what happens. They burn a timeout, and they trail by 10. 18 seconds left on the clock. And I know Coach Shear's a good coach, but, boy.
Oh, another steal.
Madison Dunnick, she's got time. She misses the shot, but Conrad puts it back with 5 seconds left. 2.5 on the clock. Barber's going to swallow the basketball in the backcourt. Norwell with a huge third quarter. They outscore Columbia City 21-4. They've got a 12-point lead. We'll take a break and be back with fourth quarter action here at the Castle after these words from Indiana Physical Therapy.
Hi, this is Dale from the Voice Enterprises. For countless years, I struggled with back pain, and more often than not, the doctors would just prescribe pain meds, which would just dull the pain. It wasn't until I was referred to Indiana Physical Therapy that I truly experienced pain relief. The professionals at IPT showed me the correct exercises and stretches for my problems, and my back pain began to fade away, and as a result, my entire body began to feel better. Indiana Physical Therapy's highly trained professionals treat all types of injuries and ailments and accept all insurance. For more information on IPT or to schedule an appointment, call 824-0522 or visit indianapt.com.
Well, Derek, another one of those quarters, and Norwell will be within a point of their average.
Yeah, it was 21-4 in that quarter. As we talked a little bit about how Coach Thornton's really good at setting up a good third quarter if they haven't played so well in the first half. And, boy, that's exactly what the doctor ordered right there.
Well, and really, it all came from their defense.
Yeah, it did. They forced
turnovers.
Yeah, 6 turnovers and only turned it over one time.
Well, and they need to keep the pressure up here to start the fourth. That's almost, a very light foul called on Casey Strong. I'm not even sure she didn't have her hand on the basketball.
That's number 4, too.
She'll have to take a seat. Courtney Beer will re-enter for the Knights. As Martinez now handling the basketball in the backcourt. Farber not in the game for Columbia City coming out of the quarter break. Martinez launches a very tough 3, and Courtney Beer doing a great job of getting position on that rebound is fouled. That's the 14th foul on Columbia City, the 3rd individual foul on Reagan Decker.
She has not scored.
Roller now is going to handle it for the Knights with Strunk on the bench. Columbia City going to, no, they're still in the zone.
Yeah, this is just a little bit bigger of a lead than last year as Conrad takes it to the hole and gets fouled for 2 shots.
That's going to go on Pettigrew.
Yeah, it is. Norwell led it last year by a pretty good margin. It was about 8 points, I believe, for most of the game, and then Columbia City made a really late charge.
As the foul was on Pettigrew, it was her 3rd, team's 5th. Conrad trying to stretch Norwell's lead out to 14.
She can get her 16th point.
Yeah, she's played a great game. I mean, she missed a few easy shots in that first half, but overall she's played very well. Martinez handling it now for the Eagles. Yep, good call. Good pressure defense there by Beer and Shelton on the wing.
Boy,
forced that turnover.
Things really getting away from Columbia City now.
Still a lot of time left, though, in this one. Norwell needs to keep the pressure on, especially defensively. Shelton working on Martinez on the spin into the lane. No good. Couldn't pull down the rebound. And Martinez will head the other way for the Eagles. Norwell going back to their trap. Decker forcing her way in. Misses the shot and the foul's called. It's going to be a shooting foul. And I think it's going to go on Courtney Beer. That's her third. 15th foul on the Knights as well now, as Decker will try to cut into Norwell's margin. And they've really struggled from the free throw line.
Columbia City's 1 for 6.
Wow.
That's their first free throw attempt of the second half.
Darian Farber back in there for the Eagles. She replaces Morgan Bales. And that one wasn't close either. Roller will bring it up for the Knights with 6:45 left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Beer travels.
Yeah, I thought she was going to get away with it.
No. Didn't get rid of the ball quite quick enough. She really committed to going hard into the lane.
And you know, we've seen her penetrate a lot more than she did in the regular season.
Columbia City throws it away. Martinez didn't appear to be ready for that pass.
Now, then she didn't go after it. Timeout, Coach Thornton.
And I think that's a good timeout for Norwell. It comes at 6:32 of the fourth quarter. We'll take the break along with Coach and be right back after these words from Daniels Jewelers.
He shoots, he scores, it's out of here. He could go all the way.
That's the reaction you'll get when you get her a gift of fine jewelry from Daniels Jewelers in Bluffton.
Hi, this is Dan and Jane from Daniels Jewelers, and we want you to score big. We have beautiful diamond pendants, rings, and earrings, including diamonds in motion. These pieces, powered by her heartbeat, are awesome.
Check out our fun jewelry. Stainless steel jewelry by SteelX, Jewel Pops by Chameleon, Angelica bracelets made from recycled metals, and our newest, convertibles by Lestage.
We offer ring sizing done on premise, and the first sizing is free when you purchase your ring from Daniels.
Okay, guys, best of all, free gift wrapping.
Win big. See you at Daniels Jewelers in Bluffton on State Road 1, north of Lowe's. Open Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 6, and Saturday, 9:30 to 4.
6:32 on the clock. Norwell with the basketball. Coach Thornton with 3 timeouts left to his credit. Columbia City with 2. I believe both the Columbia Cities are of the full variety.
Yep. Coach Thornton still has 1:30 to play with.
Right. Kaylee Roller handling the ball now for the Knights. Casey Strunk on the bench with 4 fouls. I'm sure we'll see her again, though, as Shelton launches another 3, no good. Rebound pulled down by Cormany. She's on the break. Up ahead to Farber, and Farber gets the layup to go.
Just the 6th point of the second half for Columbia City as Norwell's outscored them 23-6.
They can't let up their guard, though. They need to keep hitting easy shots. Shelton into the lane, fouled.
Boy, Shelton just cannot make that shot tonight. That was a foul.
Yeah, that would have been awfully tough to make as Cormany whacked her on the arm on the shot. That's the 2nd foul on Cormany, team 6th. Shelton will go to the line for a pair. And that one looks pretty good. Norwell's going to have to continue to hit their free throws down the stretch, though, because if they maintain this lead, there's going to be a point in time where Columbia City will start fouling on every possession.
Yeah, Norwell's now 12 for 17. That's 71%. That's acceptable.
It's acceptable. Of course, a couple of those were front ends of 1-and-1s.
Right.
Which you hate to see those opportunities go by the wayside. Another turnover by the Eagles. And it really has. Norwell's defense is what's turned this game around.
Yeah, it's just been a completely different animal here in the second half.
A lot more ball pressure from both the man-to-man and the zone traps.
And it's evident from 25 in the first half to just 6.
Yeah. Yep. They're as Roller loses the pass there. Was trying to get the backdoor play going, but the ball kind of just slipped out of her hand. Oh, Pettigrew travels and scores. That cuts Norwell's lead back down to 12.
Yeah, Norwell's definitely got to be careful here.
Oh, good move by Sawyer, and she gets fouled.
It's on the floor, but it'll still be free throws.
Yeah, as that will put Norwell in the bonus. The foul will go on, I believe, Pettigrew. Nope, goes on Farber.
Farber's third.
Strunk's going to come back in with 5:14 left, replacing Beer. Mackenzie Sawyer goes to the line. I think Norwell's just got to continue to attack the basket. Their game plan really hasn't changed from the first half. The difference is they're making shots. Sawyer will try to give Norwell a 14-point lead again here. That'll match the high, I believe, for this one.
That's correct.
And she does. Look good on those 2 free throws.
Now, Norwell missed just one here in the second half from the line.
Into the front court, Farber. Here comes the trap. And she's able to find Decker. Decker cross court underneath the Cormany. Inside pass. Now in the corner. That's Decker. No good. And coming out of there with it is...
Yeah, that's a foul.
Kaylee Roller. We'll see who that goes against. Probably Farber?
No, it's Decker.
Decker?
Yeah, that'll be on Decker.
Reagan Decker, who is one of 2 seniors on this squad, in danger of leaving this one early.
Yeah, still 4:49 left. Plenty of time to pick up her and Strunk in there with 4 fouls.
Right. Roller back to the line, and that one looked good.
Roller missed in the first half.
Yeah, this is only her second trip to the line, as I recall.
Yep. 7 points to her credit.
Kaylee, those made some big plays. She had a couple of big steals in that run in the third quarter when Norwell put up 21 points. Couldn't take advantage of that particular free throw. And Farber will bring it across the line. Norwell back in there man-to-man here off the missed shot. Decker.
Double dribble.
No,
it's tipped.
Yeah, Roller got her hand on it. Nice pressure defense there from Shelton. But Cormany came out of there with the rebound. Martinez launches a 3 and hits it.
Big 3. Timeout, Amy Shearer.
And Columbia City down to their last timeout with 4:27 on the clock. That's a full timeout for the Lady Eagles. We'll take it as well and be right back after these words from our sponsors.
We serve
and we care.
Med-Surg and ICU at Adams Memorial Hospital. Always here so you stay healthy in every way. We monitor
and we prevent.
Worthman Fitness at Adams Memorial Hospital. Our goal is for you to be healthy in every way.
Hyundai Motors is celebrating 40 years of serving Wells County and the surrounding area with an outstanding selection of low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs that are in fantastic condition. And their ASE certified technicians in the service department offer oil changes, brakes, AC tune-ups, as well as a full line of replacement parts and tires, and are the best in customer satisfaction. Visit HyundaiMotors.com to browse their inventory of new and used vehicles.
Yeah, just a reset here. 4:27 left in the fourth. Norwell up by 12. Coach Amy Shear with just 1 timeout left, a full timeout. Norwell with 3 timeouts left.
Norwell in the single bonus as Columbia City with 18 fouls, Norwell with 5.
And full court pressure now from Columbia City. I cannot believe this is going to work to Columbia City's favor, as Norwell much quicker, much more athletic.
Yeah, they've proven it in trying to push the pace. They just, if they had made a couple more shots in the first half, Boy, they'd really be up by a good margin as Oh, she traveled.
Well, that's a tough call on Stephanie as she's used that same move all night long.
I thought that was going to be an and-one situation, and Norwell could have stretched their lead to 15.
Yeah, she definitely got hacked on the play. But it's Columbia City's ball with a chance to cut it to single digits if they can hit a three. Cormany almost stolen away. Strunk is fouled in the front court. That'll go on Darian Farber. And actually, that's probably a good foul by Farber as she had no chance of stopping Casey Strunk.
And this game has been a little less physical here in the second half. It's not been as much of a battle underneath. Certainly a lot different from the game on last Tuesday for Norwell up at Lures, as that was just rough.
As Strunk able to knock down a free throw here in the fourth quarter. I'll tell you, that's something about Casey. She's been, even if she's not hitting them early in the game, she's hit them late.
Strunk has been playing with 4 fouls for a long time as well.
Yeah, she came in with about 5.5. Boy, and I jinxed her. Quinn Shelton right there with the putback. Big offensive rebound for the Knights.
Norwell still could match the Herald prediction here. They're well within range.
Yeah, they are.
Madison Dunnick actually was in the trainer's room for a while, but then came back out with ice on the front of her leg below her knee. So she's had ACL problems the past few years, so hopefully that isn't playing any part in that ice.
Columbia City able to defeat Norwell's trap, and that's going to be a jump ball underneath.
Belonged to Norwell.
I couldn't believe they got away from that trap in the corner.
Oh.
Farber just launched it out to around half court, and Martinez was able to control the pass.
That was a blind. Oh. Wow. Great job of Strunk to control that basketball.
Oh, and I don't think Conrad knew that that pass was not intended for her.
Timeout.
Coach Thornton's going to use his last 30-second timeout in the midst of that scrum. Norwell up by 15 with the basketball. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Live life to the fullest at Adams Woodcrest Villas and Apartments. Make new friends and take part in educational, inspirational, and just plain fun activities. Enjoy the best in maintenance-free independent living. Enjoy life at Adams Woodcrest Villas and Apartments in Decatur.
Derek, you referenced the prediction. Harold's prediction for this one was 62-43 with 3:18 left. Norwell certainly, especially if they hit their free throws, could duplicate that prediction. And I got to say, I don't know what the algorithm is.
It's uncanny.
First part of the season, they're not very accurate. But as the season wears on, that algorithm gets extremely accurate.
And not only from a margin, not just Norwell by 15, but the score.
The actual score.
Right.
Roller, and that's going to be a foul on Elise Cormany as she blocked Kaylee Roller.
It's the third foul on Cormany as Roller now shooting 2 free throws as the Knights are in the double bonus.
Norwell with 5 team fouls as Columbia City's kind of had to foul here in the fourth quarter to try to stem Norwell's momentum. Roller able to hit the first. That double bonus rule has changed the game. There's no doubt about it. If you've got a lead and can hit free throws. So it didn't used to be that way back in the day.
Was it similar to how the NBA operates now with like 5 team fouls, or was it still 7 to get to bonus?
No, I think it was 5.
Yeah, that's, well, actually the NBA is
all the way through.
Yeah, the NBA is 2 shots
at
5 fouls.
Right. Cormany working on Sawyer. Cormany's not been a factor here in the second half. I'll tell you, the other one that's not has been Martinez.
Another long rebound for Farber.
Yep, they've had a lot of those tonight. Good job of getting out of the corner there was Pettigrew, or that's not Pettigrew. Is that Bales in the corner? Martinez launches a long 3, no good, and another long rebound. Martinez will go cross court Yeah, that's Bales. Now Martinez will launch it from the left side and hit the three.
16 points for Holly Martinez, and very similar to the first game she played. She had 13.
Kaylee Roller pushing it up. Now Shelton.
Now the Knights can turnover.
Cormany the other way, lays it up and in.
The Knights really need to be patient here.
Well, they need to take care of the basketball.
Yeah.
That was just a lazy pass as Strunk will cross into the front court.
Yeah, the Knights at this point do not need to score. They just need to take really good care of the basketball and not turn the ball over.
Great pass from Strunk. Conrad not able to hit the layup.
And in reality, that shot still doesn't need to be taken. It was a good look.
Oh, you got to take that one. As Bales way off on the three ball. Roller able to corral it. Oh, nice crossover move. Great pass to Sawyer. Wow, what ball handling skills demonstrated there by Kaylee Roller. That was fun to watch.
That was.
Darian Farber handling it for the Eagles. That's Cormany in the corner, and a foul is going to be called on Conrad.
Bump on Conrad, but that's just the first foul since in the first minute. It's just her second personal. Picked up that first one inside the first minute as Lindy Dial checks in for Norwell.
Kaylee Roller will take a seat. Also, Alexa Mallory's going to check in for the Knights. A couple of subs there for Columbia City as well. As
excellent game for Conrad.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Kaylee Roller was the difference in this one.
Yep.
Natalia Johnson back in there for the Eagles. Reagan Decker in there with 4 fouls. Morgan Bales. Farber. As launching that shot was Bales. Strunk comes out of there with it. 1:09 left on the clock. He's able to get into the front court easily against Decker. That's Dial into the paint. Good kick out to Shelton. Now Sawyer, as Norwell playing a bit of keep away. Lindy Dial travels. It'll be Columbia City's basketball with 51.5 seconds left.
Turnover 11 for Norwell.
Courtney Beer back on the floor for the Knights, replacing Sawyer. Also for the Eagles,
Madison Hansen sees her first floor time, along with Hunter Allis.
I believe it's pronounced Alice. At least that's the way that Feldheiser pronounced it, I believe.
Grace Cotter also checked in.
Cotter, a freshman. She's wearing number 12. That's Hansen with the basketball. She's a junior. Wearing number 34. That's Johnson underneath, and she gets the high banking shot to drop.
It's high off the glass.
37 seconds left. Beer handling it for the Knights into the front court. That's Strunk. Strunk's played this whole fourth quarter with 4 fouls, just about. I mean, she came in with about 5:40 left. 21 seconds. Norwell just be content to dribble it out here if they can. They're up by 12 with 11 seconds left now. Shelton in the corner being dogged by Bales. 5 seconds. Shelton looking for help. Now Strunk will dribble it out, and that'll end it. Norwell with a come from behind 55-43 win over Columbia City. Norwell earns the right to play Heritage on Friday night in the second game. We'll take a break and be back with your post-game show after these words from our sponsors.
What do you guys want to eat for supper tonight?
I want Paschetti.
I want Paschetti.
Paschetti's Italian restaurant, where yes, you can get spaghetti and so much more. Subs, sandwiches, burgers, calzones, pizzas, salads, and a whole menu full of Italian cuisine and desserts. Paschetti's restaurant is conveniently located at 229 West Market Street in Bluffton, and they're open for lunch 11 to 4, 7 days a week.
Fine, we'll go to Paschetti's, but I want some garlic knots.
Paschetti's, open Monday through Thursday 11 to 9, Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Sundays 11 to 8 p.m. Paschetti's Italian Restaurant, 229 West Market Street in Costly misconceptions about collision repair, brought to you by Lauren's Body Shop.
All repair shops are basically the same.
False. There are substantial differences among repair shops. Some have made large investments in equipment and training, others have not. Always do your homework when selecting a repair facility.
In business since 1951, Lauren's Body Shop on East Dustman Road specializes in insurance collision repair, offers free estimates, and an outstanding limited lifetime warranty. Visit lawrensbodyshop.com.
Well, welcome back to the Castle. The Norwell faithful, a deep sigh of relief as at halftime they trailed Columbia City 25-20. However, a huge 21-point third quarter turned it around for the Knights, and they come out with a 12-point win over a very tough Columbia City team. And by tough, I mean they came in and played strong. Norwell definitely with the better squad, but Columbia City certainly made a ball game for that first half, Derek.
Yeah, they did, and they challenged Norwell to finally get out on the basketball. The defense was aggressive in the first half. It just wasn't to the level of aggressive that we've seen and gotten used to from these Lady Knights. So we'll go ahead and dive into those stats a little bit deeper. We'll start with the visitors on the scoreboard, the Norwell Lady Knights, who were victorious, 55 points, 16 of 43 from the field for 37%, 5 of 14 from the three-point line for 36%, and 11 for 29 inside for 38%, 18 of 25 from the line at 72%, 22 team rebounds, 18 defensive, 4 offensive, had 7 assists on 16 baskets, and turned the ball over 11 times. For Columbia City, individually for Norwell, Mackenzie Sawyer had 14 points and 2 rebounds. Kaylee Roller had 9 points, an assist, and 3 rebounds. Courtney Beer had 2 rebounds. Stephanie Conrad had 16 points, an assist, and 8 rebounds. Quinn Shelton had 11 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds. Casey Strunk had 5 points, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds to round out the team total for 55 total points for your Knights. For Columbia City, they were 19 of 59 from the field for 32%, 4 of 13 from the three-point line for 31%, and 15 for 46 inside for 33%. From the free throw line, they were 1 for 7 for 14%. They had 41 team rebounds, 25 defensive, 16 offensive, and they turned the ball over 19 times. Individually, Darian Farber had 8 points and 4 rebounds. Chelsea Pettigrew had 8 points and 8 rebounds. Elise Cormody had 6 points and 6 rebounds. Holly Martinez had 16 points and 8 rebounds. Reagan Decker had 3 rebounds. Morgan Bales had 3 points and 5 rebounds. And Natalia Johnson had 2 points and a rebound. Bella Krieg had 6 rebounds and no points. For a team total of 43, the Knights are victorious and move on to the semifinal against Heritage on Friday with a 55-43 win.
And, of course, that game will follow Bishop Lures versus Mississinawa in the first game.
Yep.
I would anticipate that we'll probably be on the air right around 8 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
On Friday nights. First game's scheduled to start at 6. And the difference in this one, though, I really thought coming out of the locker room, Norwell cranked up the intensity on defense. I didn't really see him do too much strategically different in the way that they were set up, but certainly a lot more energy than that first quarter.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you, Greg. This first half, it did not look like the team that we've seen this entire year. But the second half, like you did say, they cranked up the intensity. They got more ball pressure on, and I think that was probably the main thing that they did.
Yep.
Really, in the first half, they were just letting them do whatever they wanted to. They got to the hole a lot, and we fouled them a good amount, but they weren't necessarily shooting fouls, so I think that kind of played a little bit of a part into it, too. Norwell, offensive-wise, they were shooting their free throws a lot better in that second half. In the first half, again, unlike Norwell, unlike the team that we've seen all year. But, again, this is a great win for Norwell, just winning the first round of the sectional. So that first postseason game, that's off your shoulders. So I think Friday, when they come back into the Castle, they'll have a lot more confidence starting off this game.
Yeah, and in the postseason, the only thing that matters is survive and advance. Norwell, a heavy favorite in this one by 19, according to Harrell. But, it's all about getting the W and getting the chance to play again. Columbia City's season ends tonight. They end the season with a 9-15 record. Overall, Norwell improves to 21-2 on the season, and they live to face Heritage, who struggled a bit this year, Derek, in the ACAC.
Yeah, they did, and they had a little bit of a down year from a Heritage standpoint. They play a tougher schedule than what a team like Mississinawa does, being in Allen County, and that plays in a big role there. Heritage is 6-16, coached by Melissa Connor, a first-year coach for Heritage, but they have wins over Prairie Heights, Belmont, Lakewood Park, Blackhawk, Southern Wells, and Bluffton. They do have some quality losses on their schedule, I might add, but Heritage will have their hands full with Norwell here on Friday, and I feel like Norwell will be a little more prepared in the first half on Friday than they were this evening.
Well, we've got head coach Eric Thornton with us here, and Coach, right from the get-go tonight, those first couple of quarters, but just the first few minutes, the girls looked awfully tight. We had them missing 11 shots inside 8 feet in the first half.
Yeah, some of those were good shots, actually, where we got to the rim and we just had a little extra juice on it. I know Casey did a few times, or maybe Steph a little off balance or going a little too soft on her part at times. But, we really fought ourselves in the first quarter, and a lot of credit to Columbia City for how they played. And that's what they had to do. And our kids did not respond well, and you get a little tight, and you start fighting yourself, and you start getting out of that trust of what you're doing. We really fought hard to get that back. Boy, it's hard to get it back when you don't start that way.
Yep.
And, I thought our second quarter, we just started chipping away a little bit.
Yep.
And
Cut
it could
the
have
lead
been
down a little.
Could have been a lot worse than 5 down at half. We
Yep.
were really concerned. The rebounding stats were awfully heavy in their favor,
Yep.
and that was a concern of ours going into the game. And we really talked about their offensive rebounding, how good they are, and how aggressive and strong and long they are. And that didn't really get a lot better for us throughout the game. But the second quarter, I think, is where it started for us to try to get something established again. And third quarter, what can you say? I mean, I asked the kids what was the difference between the first and third quarter, and it was us.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Columbia City played worse.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that we got more calls, or it was the stuff that was in our control, and we played lady night basketball in the third.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was all about defense in that
Right.
third quarter. The first about 3.5 minutes of that third quarter, two things really stuck out to me. Number one, the ball pressure was much improved in
Right.
the third quarter, but also you were able to take away that angle pass to the baseline that was so successful for them in the first half.
Yeah, we really did. And our angles were better, like you said. Angles out top and then angles down low were better. And, Quinn did a better job at the top of our 1-3-1 of not letting them reverse it back to the top.
Right.
And when she can do that, and Steph's taken away the middle, it really makes it tough with those two kids. And we did a better job with that. We got some deflections, some steals, some runouts for layups that we didn't get in the first half, and things turned for the kids. Our only goal at the end of the third was to have the lead. We said, don't try to figure out what that lead needs to be. Let's just get the lead.
Yeah.
And we got more than that.
Yeah, sure did. Outscored them 21-4, I believe.
Yep.
In that third quarter, it was a pretty impressive run, and it was the whole team, that made that happen. But really thought it was keyed off your defense.
It really was, and boy, it makes things a little bit easier on the other end. And we got our mojo back a little bit, just even in our half court stuff. You could see us moving the ball well, and we got a big shot there off of a timeout from Quinn. Kaylee did a nice job of drawing the defense to the left side of the floor, and Quinn was ready to shoot that and knocked it down. And boy, when you can get that going into a quarter, it kind of capped off one of the best quarters we probably had this season.
Well, in a while for sure,
Right.
but certainly in no bigger spot than here in the postseason. We talked a little bit about the fact that you were a 19-point favorite tonight, according to Harrell, and so forth and so on. But the only goal is to get the W and move on.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a surprise at this point of the season that you're going to go through some of that stuff.
Absolutely.
And, we have to learn from it.
Yep.
at this point, there's no good loss. You don't want to try to learn from a loss and get better from it. It's really not about that. It's about let's win the game. Let's do what it takes to win the game. And our kids need to pay attention. They need to understand that they're not guaranteed anything in this tournament.
Right.
As we talked about in the locker room, you don't deserve anything. You have to earn everything. And for us to get to Saturday night, we have to earn the right by the way we play Friday against Heritage. And don't assume anything. We have to earn the right to get to play Saturday. And if we do that, we'll be happy with the results.
Well, and that's a message you're going to have to communicate pretty effectively. You're going against a 6-16 Heritage team that ended up in the bottom half of the ACAC conference. On paper, again, your ladies are going to have to kind of fight that a little bit and rise above it.
Yeah, the good thing about us, our kids, is we don't know anything about Heritage, and we're going to respect them just like we would anybody.
Yeah.
And you got to win the game, and they're going to try to win the game too. Heritage is going to come in here and give it their best effort, and our kids will have to be ready. We'll have to certainly be better in the first quarter.
Yeah, yep. And then, of course, Lures takes on Mississinawa in that first game, and again, there's another. I'm sure on paper, Lures is going to be a big favorite in that one. And you just played Bishop Lures here less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, a week ago Tuesday.
Yeah,
a week ago.
Yeah,
exactly.
time flies for me.
That's
Coach.
today, isn't it? Today is Tuesday. Yeah, I know what you mean. Just a short time ago, they certainly understand that they're good enough to beat us,
sure.
and we do too.
Yep.
But we've got to get. We've got to earn that right, like we said on Friday.
Control the controllables.
Third quarter.
Yeah,
that's the lesson that our ladies need to learn tonight.
Yeah,
that's us. That's the lesson.
Yeah, and that's a great message at any point in time, let alone in postseason when it's absolutely crucial. So, Coach, we wish you the best on Friday night. We'll talk to you after the game.
Okay.
And real solid win tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Eric. Head coach Eric Thornton joining us here during the post-game show. Fellas, we do have one more job to do as Noah gets settled back in here with a sweaty headset.
Hey.
Coach Thornton sweating very, very bad tonight.
Do you know what? He's bald,
yes.
So all that sweat on his head, it's not soaked up by the hair, so it's all over the headset. Do you know what? I'm just going to man it out.
Yeah, and you're used to it.
Oh, yeah. After 3 years of doing this, I kind of have to be used to it.
You're used to being bathed in Coach Thornton's head sweat in post-game.
Before we get to the player of the game, I want to just let you guys know of just one score from the South half. Princeton defeated Washington 29-9.
Well, I would guess Washington held the ball for
Yep.
most of that ball game.
29-9.
And probably Young scored 27 of the points.
That's probably right.
Wow, that's a tight one. Any other finals there to recap real quickly?
From the North half.
Yeah.
I've got Concordia 45, New Haven 25.
No surprise there.
And no other surprises. Not a lot of games. There's a lot of the big teams' favorites play on tomorrow night, actually, in the 7-team sectionals, and then on Friday and Saturday, of course.
Well, no, I'll give you first shot at it. Who's your player of the game tonight for Norwell?
First of all, I want to know, Derek, how many points did Kaylee Roller have tonight?
Roller had 9, I believe.
She had 9, okay.
Yep.
I'm going to give it to Stephanie Conrad because not only because she picked up her intensity in the second half, but the 2 threes that she hit, they were in such critical moments. If she would have missed those, I think our intensity would have really gone down. But because the girls saw her make those 2 shots, and that we all know that she doesn't take those very often, but she's awfully confident about them.
She is, for considering she's taken
she
like
really
6
is.
all year.
Honestly, and I bet she's. I mean, she missed one of them tonight. I mean, she was 2 for 3 tonight, but I think because she hit those shots, just the momentum kind of picked up from there for Norwell. And really, she did really great on the defensive side tonight. So I'm going to give it to Stephanie Conrad.
Derek?
I'd like to. It's really tough, but I think Kaylee Roller played an excellent basketball game, but I will go ahead and agree with you and go with Stephanie Conrad. 16 points, 8 rebounds, and assist. The 2 threes that she hit in the first half were absolutely monumental and very important to keeping Norwell in that basketball game. And without those threes, you know what could have happened? with kind of stopped the Columbia City runs. But, 25-20 at halftime, I thought those 2 threes played a big part. In the 10 games that I've scored, she's 5 for 8 from the three-point line, and she was 2 for 3 tonight, 5 for 10 from the floor, and made 4 big free throws as well.
Well, great input from both of your guys, and because I'm responsible for the equipment, I'm going to overrule both of you.
Oh, wow.
Kaylee Roller is the player of the game tonight, and I'll tell you why. Great argument for Stephanie Conrad. She had a great game, a lot of good contributions from a lot of girls, as you have to have. But here's what I saw. Defense was the key to that momentum shift for the Knights in the third quarter, and the biggest part of them scoring 21 points. And Kaylee Roller was the key to that defense. She had at least 3 steals that I can think of here just on the left side on the wing, and just made a couple of electrifying plays that got the crowd into it, got her teammates into it. And I don't want to take anything away from Stephanie because she did have a great game tonight. Those 2 threes that you mentioned, Noah, just came at very key times. But let's face it, Stephanie struggled from the floor tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
She missed a number of point-blank shots at the rim, and not to take anything away from her at all, but I just thought Kaylee played a really complete basketball game tonight. She hit the vast majority of her free throws, and I don't know. Can you guys bear with me?
Oh, sure.
On that
one?
All right.
Yeah, I was thinking about Kaylee Roller, but I wasn't entirely sure how many points she had. But, Greg, you are absolutely right. Kaylee Roller had a great game, and her defense in the third quarter came out so strong and so confident. And like you said, I think that also boosts the other team's confidence in getting more pressure on the basketball as well.
So your New Holland Tri-County player of the game this evening will be Kaylee Roller. 9 points, an assist, and 3 rebounds, and we're not sure how many steals, are we?
No.
But she had a number of them. So Kaylee Roller, your player of the game. Fellas, it's been a blast. Great game tonight. Good to see the Knights win. We'll be back with more sectional action on Friday night, but in between, the boys will be hosting the Columbia City Eagles in an NE8 game on Thursday night.
Very
we'll have
important.
that for you.
Yeah,
big game for the Knights.
3 teams tied at 4-1 at the top of the conference. Norwell, New Haven, and Columbia City. After New Haven went into Columbia City and beat them this past weekend.
That's an unbelievable win.
Yeah, it really is. So those 3 teams going to be fighting to the end for a conference title.
And we'll have it for you on Thursday night before we resume sectional play. Once again, your final here from the second game of the sectional located at Norwell's Castle. It's Norwell 55, Columbia City 43. For Derek Decker and Noah Tobias, this is Greg Van Meter saying so long, everybody.
We hope you enjoyed this high school sports broadcast on the Voice Sports Network. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
The preceding production is property of Voice Enterprises, and all rights are reserved worldwide. Thank you for listening to this production of Voice Enterprises, taking media in a new direction.